We're back. Yeah, so we're gonna add the Pine script feature, build with trading view. You'll be able to access that right from where it says below build with AI. Um, so all these features on the right, these are the kind of stuff I want to go over with you guys. So this is kind of one of the main ones. We've got easy mode. This is just going to automatically size the trades for you. So if you guys are struggling with position sizing, you can just give it to this, right? So, I want to make 20 USDT if the price of Ethereum hits 2,300, right? It'll set up the whole trade for you, which is great. Then you can obviously just adjust the RR, and it'll just adjust the setup automatically for you. So if you're struggling with position sizing and just want to skip kind of doing that math, definitely use easy mode. That would be a fantastic use for something like that. Obviously, we've got grid, we've got chat mode. The chat mode, the idea is obviously to interact with the chart. So you could say stuff like, hey, draw a line at the 24-hour low, right? So the idea behind the AI really is to kind of analyze the market through whatever data we're looking for. So for one, you can use kind of all these tabs up here, right? We've got like hyperliquid data, the economic calendar, liquidation data, obviously as well.
She's not listening to that.
Oh, let's see if I
Can you
can
turn that down?
mute background noise. There we go. Yeah, so you can use all these tabs: liquidation levels, economic data, hyperliquid data, etc. Obviously, the AI has a lot of access to information as well. And you can pull kind of more data from all the indicators. So all the indicators you can find just under all. We've kind of got like every major, I would say, type of indicator for volume, volatility. We've got subcharts obviously for open interest. All this stuff you can just toggle from the volume menu, or sorry, from the indicators menu, and it should work quite well. I know there's been a couple issues with the chart going stale. We're working on getting that sorted. But yeah, in the meantime, I would say all the indicators and all the stuff up here should work, and the chart going stale thing should be solved pretty quickly. You guys can do light mode if you want. I'm not a huge light mode guy, but you can use light mode if that's something you want to do. Obviously, you have grid line settings. Panel position can be left or right, so you can kind of flip the layout if you want to. I like the layout on the left. Um, Ticker bar if you want the stocks at the top. Obviously, we've got a lot of our own custom indicators as well. These are super good. I would definitely recommend using these. We also just recently gave the AI the ability to access these, which I think is great. So let me see if I can show you guys some of these. Yeah, like liquidity sweeps, obviously. You can kind of see when these key levels get taken is the idea. We've obviously got stuff like the no trade zone, range deviation. Definitely use these guys. These are fantastic. There should be some documentation inside the docs for how these work. Or you can just look at the Twitter/content for some more kind of stuff if you're not obviously sure. But yeah, we've got a lot of custom stuff as well. If you guys have suggestions on indicators that we're missing that you guys want to see, or things that don't exist yet that you guys want to have added into the terminal, let us know. We'll try to make these things right. In terms of like position history and stuff like that, we've got some features here as well. We've got video P&L cards, which I think is super cool. I mean, nobody else has this, so you can kind of watch replays of your past trades if you want to. And these are historically accurate. So this is actually what would have happened inside of your trade, and you can pull it up for any trade. Doesn't really matter how old it is. You can just click. We've got a bunch of P&L cards too, obviously. So if you just want a P&L card, you know, you obviously have that. But if you want to watch a video, you can do it for any of your old trades. You see the replay, um, and yeah, they are historically accurate, which is pretty cool. This was not a very good trade for me until the very end. Anyways, yeah, that's a funny one. I like that gif. Yeah. So you can obviously move all your assets around the terminal as well, guys. This is I know some guys were struggling with this, but if you go here, right, the balance that you guys see over here is just a futures balance, right? Like this guy, minus whatever you have in the vaults. So if you want to add more funds, go to assets, right? And you can quickly transfer from, funding to futures, right? And then you'll see those funds available for use. So That'd be the way to do that. We've got a lot of liquidation modes down here. So clicking liquidation protection, this will automatically kind of give you guys a buffer from your entry price to automatically put a stop loss. So this just basically makes sure that you never accidentally get liquidated, which is pretty huge. Obviously, I announced points the other day. I don't know if you guys saw the points. You will earn points for every trade you place to the terminal. Um, it helps. It's a lot better for the project if you guys place trades actually on the terminal itself. That's part of how we keep it free. So if you're able to, guys, try to place trades inside the terminal. You will earn points. Points will be good. That's really all I can say. But yeah, we want to do something cool with the points. And yeah, a lot of guys have asked me like about the reflink stuff. Use the existing reflink from whatever affiliate you came with. If they're Crown or CryptoFace or ICVIP. If you don't have an account with those guys, just make an account under ours. I know some guys have asked if they can just use their existing one. Honestly, if I could say yes, I would. I can't. That's the only way we can run the AI stuff for free. So that's kind of the answer on that. Anyways, yeah. If so, in terms of your managing your account stuff, guys, you can add more accounts down here, right? You can just go to add, and then just copy paste the information directly from blofin, right? The API key, secret key, passphrase. These are all case sensitive, and again, make sure you guys follow the instructions when it comes to this. You have to generate an API key using the third party affiliate, central command, and then So I'm gonna update these instructions, make them a bit more clear for you guys. We want the API stuff to be easy, but yeah, definitely use kind of the blofin third party tool, central command, and then just do read, trade, transfer. Paste that stuff in there, and you should be good to go. Yeah. So custom tools, still a work in progress. I know some of you guys are messing with this, and yeah, we got to fix some of the things stalling out. The idea behind it is relatively simple. Just letting you guys build your own indicators. Yeah, we're gonna solve all the timeout problems. I know that was an issue, I think, on this and the strategy builder. Some of you guys pointed that out. Getting a fix out for that as soon as possible. Probably by the end of the week. I think we can get that sorted. Same with the stale chart. I think the three main issues we have are indicator generator occasionally timing out, the chart itself going stale, and then some of the chats also just timing out. So I think in terms of the feedback I've seen from you guys, I think that's kind of the main feedback. So overall, I think if we work on that, we should be in a good spot. Obviously, I've made some indicators in the past. RSI, buy and sell, and all this stuff. They're pretty good. You guys can make some pretty good stuff with this stuff, honestly. Oh, I think I just finished my previous one. My advice with this stuff would just be kind of always the same, which is play around with it, make sure that it's actually something legit. And if you have something good, then feel free to copy it. I would just be careful when using stuff like this, purely just because it's so experimental. Now, the big thing I want to talk about with you guys, I imagine, is the AI. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are struggling with this. So this is the copy trading. This is very, very beta. So please be careful with this. I don't really know if this is accurate. I doubt it. We're doing our best. The bot is good. The actual bot itself is good. We're sorting out some of the bugs with the copy itself. What I want to walk through is kind of the process of creating an agent. So I think that would be useful for you guys to see. You guys can see some cool stuff. Again, like the chat can do a lot of stuff, right? It can get the RSI, the MACD. It can give you like a full long setup, based on liquidation levels. Obviously, the AI itself is probably the most capable aspect of the platform. It has full access to CoinGlass, most news sources, and pretty much all major data. So the idea behind that is really just to give you guys the best chance to win, and kind of create whatever strategy you want. So I've built a couple examples that I think you guys have seen, um, but I want to go over just creating a fresh strategy. I think that's the best way to do this, right? You guys can see like kind of some example stuff. Um, this is like the bot's thinking. So to kind of just summarize what you guys are seeing, right? Prefetch is it takes your prompt, right, and it's analyzing the data. So based off whatever strategy you guys set up, our bot has decided that we need to get 27 data tools, right? The 1 minute, the 30 minute, the 15 minute, whatever, right? We needed all of this. That's what we decided, so we went and we did it. Next, we had monitor. This is what actually evaluates the positions that you're currently holding, right? So it cites the strategy rule, right? Reason, market analysis, etc. And analyst, this is the one that looks for new trades, right? So monitor monitors existing trades. Analyst looks for new trades. This just summarizes both of them into a simple kind of summary for you guys to read. And yeah, that's kind of the overall structure. You guys can see kind of the logs of all the things. Okay, apparently I can't. Normally, you should be able to see all the logs like this, right? So you can see all the actions that the AI called, kind of what steps it decided to take, right? This one's calling Haishi, which is cool. Get OHLC, right? So it can call actions. We want to add more and more actions. If you guys have data source requests, please feel free to share. We want to get the AI as capable as possible. This section, I think, is one that had a couple bugs where things were timing out. But the idea is that you can kind of tinker with your strategy through here, and kind of adjust, how it's trading, right? Obviously, you've got your big strategy editor. And I want to kind of go over how all this stuff works. Let's just make a new agent together, right? We're going to call it Squirrel, the Squirrelo, right? So entry method, position management, stop loss, take profit. What does all this stuff mean, right? To put it simply, like this is designed to break down your strategy into like the 4 main components, right? So entry method, right? What signals enter? What signals an entry? Let's think of stuff together, right? We're gonna say 1. RSI must be below 40. 2. We must be trading at or near a key support. Literally, you can just think of whatever the fuck you want. I'm going to be so honest. It doesn't matter. Whatever kind of criteria that you guys want to make, you guys can just type it in. That's the idea behind this that TradingView just kind of can't do. Is we want to just let you guys literally just think of any rules-based strategy you want. It can be rules-based, it can be code-based, doesn't matter. But the idea is you can put all this stuff into plain text and then just run it, right? So, position management. How do we want to manage open positions? Hold open positions until either the support level breaks clearly with multiple confirmation candles, or until SL is hit. Set TP to, I don't know, what do we think, guys? I'm being as vague as possible just to kind of demonstrate the capability, but set TP to the next level, the next logical support, right? Close positions when we break below that key support. By default, set SL 1 RR or 2 RR. From TP, set TP, same time as SL. Right, and I can put the balance information here, right? I can say what time frame to trade on, right? Trade on 5 minute, use 5 minute indicators. Okay. I can pick the signals that I want to trade on, pick my capital. pick my max risk per trade. So the idea behind this, guys, is that if you are struggling to get the, like, if you're worried about the AI, if you've got a super simple risk strategy, you can just hard code it, right? If it's just use X amount, you can just hard code it to make sure that it's accurate. If you got something more complicated, you can kind of code it out into here. But this will just be the actual max risk in dollars, right? So I'm capping this at 10%, even though I said here, use 3%, right? And then I can see the advanced setting, right? And this is great because you can kind of add all of these based on whatever you see fit. So this stuff doesn't really matter. You can adjust the leverage, you can adjust the max total exposure, you can parse the max positions from the strategy, or you can just set it, right, to be 1, 2, 3. You can hard code these values. You can pick which account the strategy is going to trade on if you connect multiple accounts. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the main idea, right? So once you've done all this stuff, the back testing will come back. Just to be clear, by the way, guys. Also, you can audit the strategy for contradictions, right? This is kind of like the feature we talked about. I know some guys got a lot of errors with this. What I would say is, like, you can kind of use discretion on it. If you see something that you don't think makes sense, it probably doesn't make sense, right? If you've got an error that you think that you can safely ignore, I would say you probably can safely ignore it. Nothing that this thing gives you is going to be like, necessarily gospel. But for the most part, it should be able to give you a fairly comprehensive analysis, right? So if we go look at this, right, this is true. I said to put a stop loss every time. I didn't hard code it. That is a true error. Does it matter? It might not, right? Same here, right? This allows a max of 10% per trade, but the risk says use 3, right? That's weird, right? But it's probably not wrong if it will just use the 3% anyway, right? So stuff like that with the errors is what I would say. Right? This one says does not define position sizing logic. Doesn't really matter because we set a risk 3% per trade. Daily loss limit, implement daily loss cap. Right? These are just suggestions. You don't have to implement these. Yeah. So hopefully that kind of gives you guys an idea. The paper trading thing, I don't know if we want to do it, to be honest, guys, just because it's so much compute power for us to run it. I would say for now, I think it's disabled, but it might come back. We will see. Truthfully, we need more people to trade on the platform to create more free features with the AI, to be blunt. So that's kind of the idea behind that. I think we can do the paper trading thing though. I wouldn't be too surprised. Anyway, so once you kind of deploy your strategy, you can sort of see it in here. And I'm gonna see if I have any money in my account. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. So it says that my balance is being used up because I've got funds and agents. Just a heads up, guys, which makes sense. That is why my balance is being used up right now. But that's fine. That's not a huge deal. It'll still work anyways. But yeah, the idea behind that is that obviously we don't want to overlap your real funds, right? So normally you don't want to use reserved money because that money is reserved for your agents, right? I did share some strategies with you guys. I don't have a ton right now, but I will make some more and get those out to you guys. You guys can obviously have the Squirrelo if you'd like. I will put this in the chat. Who knows? Could be a banger. But yeah, you can kind of see here, like, it's kind of pending / doing all the first run information basically. Like this is basically the first step, right, for Squirrelo. So if you go back to thinking, right, we can see like, oh, Squirrelo is calling functions, right? Oh, find support resistance, calculate indicators, right? So we know, like, okay, our bot, our little AI bot is doing his job. And the best way I would say to analyze if your AI bot is working, guys, is to look at the output from analysis, okay? Because analysis is going to take your strategy conditions and evaluate them step by step, right? Again, this is not really ready for reliable use, right? But it will come. It will be back soon. So patience on that. But yeah, the idea behind these is that once you read kind of the analysis tab, you can see the bot's thinking. And the thinking is always going to reference your strategy text, right, that you give it inside of here. So what you guys want to check is, okay, does this stuff actually match the output that I'm seeing in the logs, right? And if not, well, then the question is obviously, why, right? So if we read this, right, this is going to correspond very well with what we asked it to do. And apparently we're going to go long. Okay. All right. All right, boys. I'm down for a trade. Fair enough. We're long. What the fuck? Okay. All right. There you go. Let's see what the trade. What even is this trade? There you go, boys. Look at that. It's that is correct. So if you guys see, we are risking $3 on the $100 that we gave it, right? So the risk per trade was parsed from the strategy, which was correct. No idea what the logic is for the trade, but apparently it's right. So I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, again, if you guys read this, or let's see if we get. I don't know why they had to make this so hard to parse. Like, this sucks. Let's just normalize this format. So I want you guys to see how the AI thinks. There you go. So market analysis, right? BTC is testing a key support with 7872, right? With RSI at 20, right? And that's below what we set at 40, right? So the AI is correct, right? Current price is only 2.6 points above support, very close. This setup qualifies as a support bounce because the long has already touched the support and is now retesting above it. That is true, right? So this complied with our strategy, right? All this stuff was true, right? So symbol, we want to go long, right? Decision, enter long. It puts our confidence, our reason, thesis, right? If support holds, price can rebound towards the next resistance at 79380, right? So it actually will plot and give you the full analysis behind its thinking. Now this is good because if you wrote a strategy and you're not sure if it's running correctly, there's a very easy way to check, and that would just be to read this, right? If this output makes sense relative to what you told the AI to do, we can probably assume the strategy conditions you gave it were correct. My advice, guys, is to really just try stuff. No one is going to know the magic formula to the AIs, truthfully. I would start off just with small balances and creating different strategies. Create some sub accounts, run them on that. If you want to have them all run the same symbol. But overall, I mean, these things should be fairly easy to use. Like, I know there's been a lot of questions about them, but overall, the idea was not to make them complicated. Anything you guys put really should just be able to work. And yeah, obviously, if you want your strategy to be profitable, you got to make a good strategy. What I would do is just paste the strategy into ChatGPT and then say, hey, can you break this down into the 4 categories? Or just paste the strategy right into RAI and say, reformat this for AI, right? But then I can just do it. So I wouldn't feed it right into strategy suggestion. I would just give it to the AI and say, break it down into these categories. You could just paste it here. I mean, in theory, that might work. I don't actually know. I haven't tried that, to be blunt. Because there is a bit more information that they kind of give you here. Well, anyways, what do we think? Is this trade gonna make it? Am I gonna be a millionaire for my $5 punt? It's actually a pretty decent entry. Like, if you look at this, he did low key snipe. 78776. That's pretty good if I do say so. That's pretty good. Not a bad job by Mr. Robot, if I do say so myself. Anyways, that covers most of the AI stuff, I believe. Obviously, you guys can add liquidation levels to your chart. I don't know how many of you guys have done this, but it's super cool. It lets you plot liquidation levels in real time. So we just hit them. This is probably a pretty decent long. I actually do like this setup, to be honest. Anyways, one sec, guys. I'm gonna get the analysis page up because I want to go over some stuff on that. Then we can just kind of do a general FAQ. But let me get this up here. Also, if you guys haven't seen, we've got like market briefs, right? So if you go to sleep mode and wake yourself back up, you guys will actually see what happened while you're gone. So you can see the price range, key levels, funding rate, notable activity, market sentiment stuff, overnight news, upcoming events, right? A quick take. You can ask more questions about what happened to your positions, whatever you want really. That's sort of the idea behind that. Also, guys, there's battles. This is honestly super fun. I wish more people would take advantage of this. I think it's a good way to get community involved. I don't know if anyone in the squirrels is here. We got Fresh Moss. We got Jotram. Jotram, if you're able to, or maybe I can do it to Fresh Moss. If one of you guys can accept my battle request, that'd be awesome. I'd like to show the battle feature. Or anyone in the chat as well. If I can send you a battle request, just accept it, and we can do it. I would do it to myself, but I low-key don't know. I mean, maybe I can do it myself. Let me see if I've got like more accounts I can use. All right, I got it. We're good. At least I think we're good. Anyways, all right, scrap that for now. So in the analysis page, we've got a lot of different data features here. And I think, yeah, no, you're good. You're good, Fresh Moss. You're good. Yeah, that's good, but yeah, I would use sub accounts to avoid the mismatch. That does all the issue. So we want to show here, guys, is kind of like one, all your different accounts, let you see the stats. So P&L, win rate, activity, portfolio. Obviously, we calculate your equity curve based on your P&L. Sharp ratio, Sortino ratio, max drawdown, profit factor. We kind of want to give you guys as much data as possible. We show you guys your win streaks, your loss streaks, your best directional stats, right? Like, which way are you better trading, long or short? Kind of your trading activity per day visualized, some more key metrics, more P&L graph. Obviously, we show you guys your top assets, what hours you trade the most at, consistency metrics. We also break down weekends versus weekdays, which I think is super interesting. Then obviously just show you some of your recent trades. We also try to sort it by, how you actually exit your trades, which is quite cool. We give you a composite score just based on all your trading analytics. So based on your wins, your profit factor, average win to loss ratio, drawdown, consistency, and ability to recover drawdown, we just kind of break it all up into one giant score. One of the coolest metrics we have is that we actually give you guys trade breakdown detail by hold time. So, when do you lose the most money? Is it for trades that are 1 hour, trades that are 1 to 3 days? When do you make the most money, right? Is it intraday trades? Is it scalping? You can kind of find this information out just from this. Same with leverage, right? Same with day of the week, top assets, and all that stuff as well. Obviously, you've got the AI chat itself, which can kind of analyze your strategies and your past data. You can also create research tasks, which is quite cool. And lastly, yeah, we've got a calendar page as well, right? And the calendar is a full journal, so you can add notes about your trading day. You can see all your past trades, see the total P&L for the day, win rate, total R, etc., as well as like a week-over-week breakdown of kind of each day, which I think is quite cool. Prune. Can I send you a battle, Prune? I don't know. For some reason, I'm having trouble finding anybody. Like in the search bar. Which is super weird. But I don't know if it's just like my inability to like use the thing. Like, yeah, I don't know if I can't tell if I'm just dumb, basically. But yeah, very cool. Something's definitely weird with this. I don't know. I don't like it. That's weird. But anyways, as you guys can see, I'm not very good at battling. But the battling is quite fun. Obviously, guys, you can change the colors to be whatever you want. I think that's pretty cool. We've got slate, we've got pink, we've got red, we've got green, yellow. The rainbow is at your fingertips, guys. Feel free to use whatever you desire. The choice is yours. And yeah, I mean that kind of sums it up. Obviously, you guys can use settings here, right? Use all this stuff, which is fantastic. See your achievements, see your points, all that sort of stuff. You can send us feedback. We value your feedback. Give us feedback. We like it, and we will make the thing better. But yeah, guys. Oh, obviously you got the markets page. So we're adding more and more stuff into here. But this is obviously just kind of like categories. So top gainers, top losers, volume leaders, etc. All this stuff I think is super good. Pretty simple to use, right? Etc. We've got a whole like alpha section as well, which apparently just crashed, which is great. Fantastic. This just kind of shows you guys a bunch of like key metrics. So ETF flows, fear and greed index, liquidation heat map, funding rate stuff, all that information, right? Macro calendar, volatility dashboard. You can find all that stuff kind of in here, which I do think is quite cool, as well as setup scanner, right? So if you want to find some cool setups, it'll kind of give you some information there. Same with DXY tracker. So we're doing some cool stuff with that. Obviously, we can fetch the news. We have an AI scanner to help you guys find setups. So this is kind of interesting and will just kind of get better over time. So for example, Sol looks pretty good. Short, right? You can find also Sol, also Sol. Maybe I just searched Sol. I don't know. I think Sol is just the only setup. Interesting. Best to hold. Yeah, no trade. Very nice. You guys can obviously sort in a big list. Gainers, losers, volatile, volume, then by category. You guys can see all the information on the current Bitcoin cycle, which I think is quite cool. So the cycle high, cycle low. What the fuck? Okay. 126K cycle high, 78K cycle low, right? Days since top, current drawdown, and then again, we want to show you guys all the information here, right? So, 2014 bear, 2022 bear. Yeah, okay. So you guys can see kind of all the past stats on the bear markets, historical averages, and then kind of see where we're at now. I'd recommend, guys, some of the strongest features are definitely... Our trade is cooking. Jeez. Go AI bot. I'm very proud of you. It's funny. Anyways, yeah, some of the best features are definitely this stuff, right? The range deviation thing is fantastic. If you're looking for setups, right? This thing just looks for imbalances of ranges, right? So you can see red, short, blue, long, right? And what it's looking for is when we break out of these kind of clear ranges. So again, look at this one, right? Perfect long off blue, perfect long off blue. This is just trying to find when we break down from the range. And look, we get the high. There's the deviation of the high, deviation of the low. And you can just kind of run this playbook over and over and over again. When will have exposure? You can pick, and well, that's not true, right? Like you can pick whatever. You can pick as many. You can pick whatever assets you want, but you can only pick up to 3 at a time. I think we will introduce more assets as a paid feature, potentially. Biplop. If people want to buy like faster refresh times on the AI, or like more AI usage, like we literally just can't do it because honestly, for every new asset you run it on, you're running the AI one more time. So that's kind of the reason behind that. And same with like the reason why we can't let people run the thing on the 1 minute chart, right? Just simply because it's so much, AI credits. So I think it could be possible, but it'd probably come as like a paid add-on type thing, is what I would guess. We want to keep as much free as possible, believe me. But yeah, guys, I think that kind of sums up most of the information here. Obviously, you guys can see as well, overview. So, things like open interest, funding rates, fear and greed, all that stuff you guys can pull up from here as well. All these panels are adjustable, like we talked about, so you can kind of pull out, adjust, shrink, whatever you want to do with it. The choice is yours. We've got all these buttons here as well, right? So partial close, you can partial close things, of course. Close, right? SLBE, if you want to put your stop loss right to break even. Reverse position, so close and reopen opposite. All these things work, which is quite cool. And yeah, definitely feel free to use them. And the share button is just to obviously make a little P&L card. Use your squirrels, guys. Make a cool P&L card. Also, if you want to see a cool Easter egg, look at that. You guys can change the name. Only on this P&L card. So if you guys want to get some funny little Easter egg names, feel free to click the top left of this P&L card. And you'll get some cool stuff. But yeah, guys, thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I did my best to go over as much as possible. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the event.